The cafeteria of the Interspecies Academy was a study in contrasts. Sleek alien designs housing beings of wildly different physiologies, all gathered to share meals and, ostensibly, cultural understanding. Zira had learned to time her meals for the quietest hours, when fewer students were present to witness her eat. As a Eurathian, she had a metabolism that required frequent, substantial nutrition. Her species was naturally broad-framed, her body composed of dense muscle and protective adipose tissue evolved for harsh desert worlds. On her home world, her build was considered normal, healthy, desirable. Here, it was something to ridicule. She sat in her usual corner, a tray laden with the nutrient-rich paste her species required. The portion looked enormous compared to what other students ate: Krell protein bars, Drell crystalline nutrients, Teln's modest vegetable portions. Zira had learned not to look around while eating, to keep her eyes on her plate. Today, that didn't help. A group of Krell students had positioned themselves nearby, their laughter carrying across the cafeteria. One of them pointed at Zira's tray, then made exaggerated eating motions, his movements grotesquely oversized. Others joined in, their voices rising with cruel amusement. She must never stop eating, one said. No wonder her species stayed in the desert, another added. Probably couldn't move anywhere else. Zira's skin flushed a deeper purple, a physiological response she couldn't control. Her antennae drooped. She wanted to leave, to abandon her meal and retreat to her quarters. But she also knew that showing distress would only encourage them further. Then someone sat down across from her. He was human, one of the few on the station. His name was Marcus, and he was from the agricultural program. They'd never spoken before, though Zira had noticed him in classes, always quiet, always observant. "Mind if I join you?" he asked, not looking at the laughing Krell. Zira was too surprised to respond. Marcus simply opened his own meal container and began eating, deliberately facing the group of bullies. His presence was calm, unremarkable. He didn't make a show of it, didn't lecture or confront. He simply sat with her. The Krell's laughter faltered. One by one, they redirected their attention elsewhere. "Your meal smells interesting," Marcus said, genuinely curious rather than judgmental. "What's in it?" Zira hesitated. "Ground grain, legumes, mineral supplements. My metabolism requires dense nutrition," Marcus finished. "Yeah, I've read about Eurathian physiology. Makes sense. Your species evolved for endurance in extreme environments." He took a bite of his own food, a simple salad. "You know, on Earth, we have this species called horses. They're herbivores built similar to how your ancestors might have been, large frames, muscular, designed for traversing difficult terrain. We don't laugh at them for being strong. We respect them for it." Zira felt something unfamiliar, the beginning of a smile. "Did you compare me to a horse?" "I compared you to an incredibly efficient evolutionary adaptation," Marcus said with a slight grin. "Which is basically what horses are, and what you are." He gestured at his tray. "My species tends to make the mistake of thinking one body type is better than all others. It's stupid. Diversity is literally what makes civilization strong." Over the following weeks, Marcus made a habit of eating with Zira. Other humans began joining them, then a few Teln, curious about why the human was interested in the Eurathian girl. Slowly, their corner of the cafeteria became less lonely. What surprised Zira most wasn't that the bullying stopped, though it did. It was that Marcus never once made her feel like she needed a change. He didn't suggest she eat less or exercise more or feel ashamed of her build. He simply treated her with the same casual respect he showed everyone. One day, a younger Eurathian student approached Zira nervously. Do you think I could sit with you sometimes? I'm tired of eating alone." Zira's heart swelled. Of course. As more Eurathian students joined their group, Marcus caught her eye and nodded, a small acknowledgement of what was happening. Her classmates were finally seeing her not as a source of ridicule, but as someone worth sitting beside. Later that evening, Zira asked Marcus why he'd approached her that first day. He shrugged simply. "Because humans spent thousands of years learning that the worst thing you can do to someone is make them feel alone," he said. "And I figured that lesson might be worth sharing." In that moment, Zira understood something profound. Sometimes kindness wasn't about grand gestures. It was about one person refusing to let another face cruelty alone.